So we are live. Yay. There we go. All right. So we are live.
Okay.
Casey, I see Casey right here. I
Hey.
think he's trying to come in.
No.
Hey, Casey, he was trying to come in. I don't know. I saw him. So we have hello, live audience. Popout Magazine live audience. It's in the building. I have the beautiful Nicole Jackson here with us that we will be interviewing.
Yeah.
And for those of you who may not know, she will be gracing the cover of Popout Magazine this month. Congratulations!
Oh, it's such an honor. It's such an honor.
Congratulations. So tell us about your cover.
Okay.
And share with the audience a little bit about who you are, because I had the pleasure of doing my own personal research.
Ooh,
And
what did you find? Look, what did you find?
I found some good stuff. I found some really good stuff, and I am excited to talk with you about a lot of what you're doing, your business. And it's funny because my Cedric says, "Mom, look at this. Her company is called Seed Sowing, Sowing Seeds, and I go by Seed Sowing Sister." He was like, "This is gonna be so cool."
That is amazing.
Yes, and he was just like, sowing seeds, and you were Seed Sowing Sister. So yeah, that's
well, that's kingdom alignment and kingdom building. That's all I'm gonna say.
Amen to that.
That is.
Amen to that. So introduce yourself to the audience and tell them who you are, and then share a little bit about your up and coming cover with Popout Magazine.
Sure. So I am Nicole Mays Jackson, owner and founder of One Care Premier Services. I'm an entrepreneur, wife, mother, author, minister. I am also the host of Sowing Seeds podcast, powered by Fashion by Faith. And I am also just a woman of God. That is me.
That is you.
And I will say I am the first woman of color to own and operate a foster care agency, adoption agency, and a home and community-based service agency.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. In honor of Black history, that's major. And we salute you, Queen. We salute you. And since you went ahead and brought it up, I was going to save the best for last, but it's out there. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about One Care Premier, because when I logged on your website, I was just in awe.
Thank you.
I was totally in awe. And then again, another divine connection is that I've worked with so many young people who were displaced, at-risk youth who are in foster care, group homes, incarcerated, in boot camps, facilities. It's just my heart, like teens, teenagers. And when I saw your website and I began to read, I was like, this is really impressive.
Thank you.
So I want to talk a little bit about that. Like, how long have you been in business? And the story behind the business.
The story behind the business, yes. So I founded One Care Premier Services in 2015. I have my undergrad and master's from Grambling State University. I love my university.
HBCU.
HBCU in social work. And so social work is and still is my passion, caring for the underserved. And that is something that is near and dear to my heart. And, you know, coming with One Care Premier Services and owning and operating and starting it, it was a lot, but it was a calling for me as well. And so having the agency to provide all of those services, they came at different times. I will tell you, it did not start all at one time. God was like, look, Nicole, we can't do this all at once. Gave it to me in pieces. But the backstory behind it, just me being a social worker, being in the front line. I have worked for CPS in Louisiana, in Texas. I've worked on the private sector as well. And so seeing all of those different entities, I was able to say, hey, Nicole, you can do this. This is what you're going to do. And that's kind of the backstory behind One Care, just working in the back end on the state and private sector and saying this is something that I'm going to do. Yeah.
Now, one thing we do know is that God will give you a piece of a puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll just break off piece by piece by piece. Now, when he was sharing these pieces with you, what were your thoughts?
I was blown away, and I was asking God, are you sure this is what you want me to do? And I was fighting it. I'm not going to act like it was all peaches and roses. I was fighting it because I was not sure, and I was operating in fear as well. So when he gave me the pieces, I did have to have someone to push me and say, Nicole, you got to go with it. This is what God said. So it is. And even right now, I know that we're on One Care, but even in ministry, me coming into ministry, that was a fight in itself for me too, because I knew that it was my calling, but I had to also, just push myself, because you can't fight. Because if you continue to fight, God is going to make you do it, whether you want to do it or not. So
Now,
you want to do it on his timing or your timing?
Your timing. I totally agree. When you talk about the fight, were you fighting not wanting to go down that path, or were you fighting because you thought the vision was too big?
I was fighting because I thought that the vision was something that I was not going to be able to see through. I was in the place where I was like, God, you call me to do this? And so that's where I was. And when I started operating outside of that and having my confidence in God and trusting him, then I started to say, hey, this is it. Because even with Popout, all of these amazing things, operating this year, this is my year. I've told myself that I'm walking into what God said that he's called me to do with no fear, no hesitation. And when I was starting One Care, I was not there. I was
You
not
weren't there. You
Mhm.
weren't there. What has changed since you put your gloves down and you
Mhm.
stop fighting and resisting the
Mhm.
purpose and plan that God has for you? What changes begin to take place? Did things start to fall into place?
When I tell you, things started coming into place. People were coming out of nowhere that I prayed for and asked God for. And I just tell people all the time, and it's not easy, and it's not like something that just happens overnight. So I will never say that. But just to be able to know that he has lined all of these things up is just something that, I just do not take for granted. And so being able to know that he's saying, do this, I mean, that's where it is. And it's been easy, but I still, see that the vision is big, and it's even more. So
Now, one of the things that I was impressed with, not only do you serve um, becoming a foster parent, you have the opportunity, and do you administer the testing or map testing, is it called, when you want to be a foster parent, the application, the process, the training?
yes, so we do. So you have to. So as the agency here in Houston, so our testing is called, you'll have pre-service, you'll have all of the, it's like a
Oh, okay.
laundry list of training so that you have to take. And each state is different. And so
Okay.
if God willing, we might be expanding to Atlanta.
Florida.
In Atlanta, but not Florida, but Atlanta, we have been, working on some things. But I will tell you that you do have to do all of those trainings. So each state is different as far as what they
And
call
I'm familiar with it. That's why I was like map training, because here in Florida, it's map training. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also saw the foster kinship.
Mm-hmm.
Learn about foster kinship. Explain to the audience exactly what that is.
Yeah, so kinship is basically foster parent for a kinship relative. So it is a relative who is a foster parent for that child. So that's kinship care. It's the same as foster care, except it's a relative who is taking on that responsibility. There's no difference. There's no changes. They're still held accountable, just like foster parents are as well.
as well. This is
Mhm.
so awesome.
Thank
And
you.
then you have Choose Adoption. This is
Mhm.
where my mouth dropped. I was just like, wait a minute.
Yes.
So your One Care Premier assists with adoption as
Yes.
well.
Yes. So we process adoptions here in the state of Texas.
Wow.
So we do. So if you are a foster parent and you're wanting to adopt, we can serve you with that. If you're just wanting to do straight adoption, we can also assist with that.
I love this. I love everything about it. As I was strolling and I was clicking on everything to learn more about the services in
Mhm.
which you included, one of the things that I was impressed with was the focus on your caregivers
Mhm. Mhm.
and
It's
the emphasis of support
yes.
that is written throughout the content of your website.
Yes. Because without them, it's you have to support your parents. Support is something so important when you're dealing with the population that they are serving. They have to be supported in order to support the children the way they need to.
Can I ask about the name? I Care Premier
One
Services.
care. Everyone says I care. It's one care.
Okay, it's the
Our
number one.
Yeah, it's one care. But our one care is you. That is our logo. And Premier, when I thought of the name Premier, I wanted to give top-notch
Up top
services.
tier.
Yes, so that's where the Premier came in and the care came in, just wanting to make sure that everyone knew who stepped foot in our agency that we cared about them.
Who would be an ideal candidate for a foster parent?
You know, I cannot tell you an ideal because we have all walks of life from, different age ranges.
Mhm.
But I will say someone who is wanting to make a difference in a child's life, who
Right.
wants to be able to, take the time because it is taxing on a person to become a foster parent. You have a lot of individuals in your life. You have attorneys, you have CPS, you have a lot of things. So when you're going into this, you have to have the mindset that this is what I want to do to be able to help this child. You have to. You
You
have to.
have to.
Mhm.
If you had to define what your legacy would be with One Care Premier, how would you define it?
That's a good question. I would define my legacy as unbreakable.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, because I feel that with One Care, we're breaking the ceiling, we're breaking the limits off of things because it is something that people think that it's easy and it's not. And my legacy is going to be unbreakable and it's going to be something that people have not seen before. Because I don't think people really understand when I tell them who I am and what I'm doing. They don't. They don't.
explain that.
I
Explain it.
I am restructuring the social service system. I am creating my agency to be an agency that can provide let me not say wraparound services, that provide services that's able to assist individuals, families, children, the underserved in our community at a high level. And that doesn't mean being the biggest agency. That doesn't mean being the biggest at what you do. So yeah,
It
it's
means being effective in what you do and with what you have.
in what you have. Correct.
I love that. I love that. Now, question, um, is counseling included in the process? Do you offer counseling? Because I know you said you don't want to um, define it
Hmm.
as a wraparound service,
Hmm.
but by any chance, is this one of the services that you currently offer the parents as well as the children, or is it something that you're looking to add on in the future?
Yeah, sure. So with our parents, especially our parents who adopt, they do have that service through the state, which we refer to different counseling centers. So we currently do not have that on board for us right now, but the state does provide that once they are going through adoption, I will say.
Okay.
Foster care, of course, our children are always in therapy and provided services. But with my agency, we have not done that yet as far as counseling directly for our foster parents.
Okay, awesome. I know my son, I shared with you before we began that one
Mhm.
of Popout magazine babies. It happens to be my biological baby, and then Casey is my spiritual baby. So these are my sons. Um,
They are amazing.
right. And me being a teen mom, it was really hard.
Mhm.
So when Cedric graduated school and left for college, I was turning 38.
Wow.
And he was just like, you need to adopt. And I said, I just finished raising kids. And he was just like, but you have so much to give.
Mhm.
You have so much to give. And I mean, for like Nicole, at least 5 years, he just was pushing the issue.
Wow.
He was like, you need to adopt. And I never considered it, but he saw his whole life me serve the
Mhm.
underserved. He saw me serve at-risk kids because that's who I was.
Mm.
I was a young lady who grew up in the housing projects, dropped out of school, became a teen mom, all of those things. But then God,
Mm.
back to school, to college,
Mhm.
businesses, author, publishing company, speaker,
Mm.
course creator, business coach.
Mhm.
And then you sitting there like, what? So
Yeah.
I understand when you say you're fighting it and you're just like, wait, this is too much for a girl like me. And
Yeah.
I'm sharing this because I would like to talk about some of the success stories of the
Mhm.
young people who come through One Care Premier.
Oh, definitely. We definitely have a lot of success stories, especially one thing that I do push to is for when people say they want to adopt, I really push them to become foster parents as well, because I want them to know that you want to build that rapport with that child and have that time. And so some of our latest success stories, I have one parent who he is someone that, and I can't, share his information, but,
Right,
and I
right.
you direct names, but I can tell you that he is a game changer as far as foster parenting. He is able to deal with a lot of youth who have so much going on mentally, their diagnosis. And I have seen him change these children that are placed in his home I'm breaking up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Okay,
sweetie.
mine was going in and out. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to your audience, but I'm like, I can hear you just fine.
No, and so he is amazing. As far as our children, we have had last year, I want to say we had about 30 adoptions
Okay.
that went through, and it was
Amen.
yes, we did. And so we always try to make sure that we have positive success stories with our parents and the children, because I don't think people understand that just as much as the children are important, our parents are important too.
How important is it in your industry, which I would assume
Mhm.
that it's highly important to express gratitude?
Mhm. Mhm. It's very important because at the end of the day, they have such a big responsibility to have these children in their home and to get them to a level to where they can function in society and still deal with the trauma that they've experienced growing up. So gratitude is something that is always giving and to our parents and the children
And
as
the
well.
children.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow, I love that. I think sometimes we forget that when people are carrying a load, especially a load it's that wasn't born to them, it was something they chose.
Mhm.
That we go back and we say thank you,
Mhm.
or just to acknowledge them and make them visible. to show appreciation. I think that gets overlooked sometimes because people don't have to do what they do. They do it because something in them has led them
As
to
led
do what it is that they do. And I know people don't do it for the recognition. I'm
They don't.
certain that people don't, but I wanted to know how important it was because just listening to you, reading through your website, your social media pages, I see a light. So
Thank
yes, there's a light. There's a light. And my son described you at the photo shoot as being
you.
infectious.
Mm,
That's how he described you. He
I
was
love
just like, Mom, like her presence. She was like, and he was born and raised to know God, who Jesus is, and
Mhm.
to tap into that discernment. And I called him this afternoon after work, and I said, "Hey, send me some words of how you defined her. Some of the things that you picked up on, things you may have heard that I can incorporate in my interview." And he said, "You're gonna love her. She's infectious." That's
Okay.
what he said.
Oh, thank you, Sid.
He said, really great energy, really, really great energy. And now that we've covered a lot about One Care Premier, I want to talk about, no, better yet, I want to send everybody to the website.
Yes, please.
Please, because you have to check this out, guys. I'm not exaggerating. I don't want you guys to say, oh, because she said it. I want you to experience it for yourself, to
Yes.
see what this amazing woman of color has built from the ground up with the vision God has given her.
Yes.
So if you don't mind, go ahead and share that.
Sure. Our website is onecarepremierservices.com. You can also catch us on Instagram at onecarepremier. So go to our website. And if anyone is interested and you're in Houston, we have Houston, Dallas, wherever you are in the state of Texas. If you're interested in becoming a foster parent, please reach out to us and let us know.
And let her know. And again, let's repeat what you said in the opening of the interview about you being the first Black woman.
The first Black woman to own and operate a foster care, adoption agency, and home and community-based service agency.
Come on, and being a woman of God. Listen.
Yes.
That's
and an author.
Yes.
Okay. Host of Sowing Seeds podcast. All of it.
All of it. Look at God. Look at God. That is so amazing. And I will be praying with you for One Care Premier services that, oh my gosh, that it extends beyond Texas, because I know y'all do it big in Texas, but God has more for you, and you won't pick up the gloves because you've already seen what he can do with you
and it's
and
just
for you.
This is not even an appetizer. This is just a small piece.
Oh, I feel it, girl. I know. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. So now you also brought up, she's all ahead of me in the interview, guys. She's already talked about Sowing Seed podcast. So I'm getting ready to tap into that. But Popout Magazine audience, thank you for rocking with us. And don't forget to check out www.popoutmagazine.com to catch Nicole Jackson on the cover this month. Guys, in honor of Black History Month, this is the perfect month for a Black woman to be seen doing what it is that she's doing, making us all proud, inspiring us, motivating us, and empowering us to go after our own dreams. I'm hoping that's what you all are feeling on your end, because that's what she's doing for me right now. Okay, so let's talk about Sowing Seed podcast. Let's talk about it. What is this? I did creep on your little Instagram and start strolling and doing my own little research and listening in on some of the podcast features that you had on some of the pages. But tell us about it, and where did it derive from?
Yeah, so Sowing Seeds, sowing is spelled sewing for fashion, and seeds is the ground root as faith. So I love fashion. I'm a fashionista. You said you went to my Instagram, so you can see that fashion is my passion. faith is my purpose. It grounds me and it moves me in every way, every direction that I am going. And so I said, why not? Well, I didn't say, God said, because he gave me the go ahead, and he gave me the idea of sowing seeds and being able to showcase fashion, faith, because it's powered by fashion and faith as well.
Right.
And so he gave me that. And with that, we're just discovering new perspectives of life, and also, letting people know about kingdom building. Because one thing, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was in New York and I attended a fashion show for Fashion Week, which was so amazing. And so a young lady came up to me, and she said, I just felt drawn to you. And I said, well, what is it? And we just started talking, and I did share with her I was a minister. And she said, well, you don't look like you're a minister. And I'm saying that to say that with me being able to show the world that you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to be a certain way to follow, to have kingdom building, to exercise who you are. And sowing seeds is also a piece of that as well. So I'm just excited because I'm so passionate about it. Like, it is my baby. And so with the fashion show, my next guest who's actually going to be on Sowing Seeds, her name is Lovely Metellus, and she's the owner of Truth and Love Cosmetics, and she was doing the makeup for the models in Fashion Week. And so I'm so excited to have her next up, and we have some exciting other guests that I can't tell you who, but you might want to check it out because you're going to know who they are. But I'm just so excited about it.
You can see your excitement. You can almost feel it through the live stream.
You can feel it because it's my baby. You know how sad is your baby?
Yes.
It's my baby. And it's, not only it's my passion. It really is. It's colliding my passion and my brand together. Have you gone to my website, Nicole May Jackson? Okay.
Girl, I was on this phone. I was all on this phone. I was like, let me check her out. Now, one of the things that I was just, you are a woman of fashion. I mean, dressed from head to toe, you dripping. The drip is all over you. And I was just like, okay, this is amazing, because you made mention of not looking the part in which people think that you should. People will put you in a box.
Yes.
But God oversees all of this, even fashion.
Yes. That is.
He wants you to stay. He wants you to stand out. He wants you to stand out.
He wants you to stand out.
He wants you to stand out, because I even go back to touching the hem of his garment. God is into garments. Listen, he's into the fabric. And he's into it. He's totally into it. And a lot of people like to say the devil is into the details. I don't say that. God is into the details.
Yes.
Our life is designed by him. So fashion is about designing. Our lives are planned. Our footsteps are ordered. All of these things, which is all by design.
All by design.
All by design. So, honey, you wearing it. You wearing the kingdom fashion anointing is upon you.
The anointing is on me. And I'm going to tell you, his anointing is on me. And I don't know if people know what that means when you say the anointing.
Share it with them.
You. And so for me, I'm not trying to sound vain, but I will walk in somewhere. I think I can look like I just don't feel good. I can have my hair just not where it needs to be. And I'll have someone to come up to me and say, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. I mean, from ladies to whoever. And I tell people all the time, when people are attracted to you, they don't understand they're attracted to the anointing in you. It's not who you are on the appearance. They might see that, but it's the anointing. It's the anointing that they're
attracted to, the God in you. I was just sharing with someone earlier, because I went into the store and I wasn't having the best of days. When you have that day and you get up and You try and shut the enemy down because you
Mhm.
know he coming for you.
Yeah.
And I was having that kind of a morning. And quick story. And I went to get coffee, and there was this little 5'5", I'll say maybe a 5'2" little Caucasian woman behind me. And it's Valentine's Day, so there was buckets of roses. And she said, "Excuse me." I turned around and she said, "Which one would you choose?" She said, and she pointed, she said, "The red one, the yellow one, or the white one?" I said, "I love roses." I
Mhm.
said, "But if you have to go in one, go with the signature red." She was like, "Okay." I turned back around, minding my business, waiting to pay for my stuff. And she said, "Excuse me, this for you." And I said, "Huh?" I'm like, I was like blown away. And I was just like, "Are you serious?" And she said, "No." She said, "It's for you." So I was next in line, and I walked up to the register,
Mhm.
and she said, "I'm paying for her rose." And the gentleman said, "This is what happens when you have faith."
Mhm.
And he said, "Don't worry about paying for this. It's on me."
Mm.
The My coffee and whatever else I had, he's like, "It's on me." And he said, "This is what happens when you have faith." That happened to me today.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at her with the tears watering in my eyes, and she said, "I don't know, but he knows."
Oh, took the words out of my mouth. He does know. He
And I
does
said,
know.
"Roses are
And
my
he will send a stranger
uh,
to let you know that he knows all the time. All the time.
girl." I was sitting there, and the tears were forming in my eyes, and I said, "If you only knew the
Mhm.
morning I had." And she said, "He knew." And roses are my absolute favorite. And she looked at me again, and she said, she's short. She said, "He knows."
Mhm. Mhm.
I walked out with my mouth open. And right before the interview, I told Cedric, I said, "Remind me, I got something to tell you that happened to me today." So he's listening. So that's what happened to mommy today. And I'm sharing that because I'm realizing that God is making me visible.
Mhm.
And when you spoke about people walking up to you, you are visible,
Visible.
visible.
Visible. And opportunities, not just people walking up to me, opportunities that I prayed for and opportunities I didn't, that I could never even imagine, have been presented, have been moving for me. And it's nothing but God, his mercy, his grace, his glory. And it's something that I don't take for granted, because I don't know about you, but I fear him. And I
Amen.
want to make sure that I'm doing everything that it has instructed me to do, from my family to myself to my business to anything else that I'm attached to.
So, using the word visibility,
Hmm.
how important is it to become visible in everything that you do, especially with the work that you have done as a minister, an author, a serial entrepreneur, a woman of God, a speaker, all of those things? How important is it to be visible?
So I'm gonna tell you, that's a really good question. To be visible, he's gonna make you visible when you are ready. So it's important to be
Oh, wait,
visible,
wait,
but
repeat that,
you're not
Nicole.
gonna push yourself, because he is pushing you for it. He's pushing me for it. I'm not pushing myself for it. I'm not asking to be visible. He is allowing me to be visible.
Can you
He
repeat that? Repeat that. He will make you visible
He
when
will
you
make you
are
visible
ready.
when you are ready. You
Ooh,
can't ask to be at the table and you're not ready to eat. He's
ooh.
not going to allow you to be visible if you are not ready. And not only that, he is the one who's going to make notice of you. You can try to make yourself visible all you want to. You can do
Come
everything
on.
that you want to do. But until God says you are visible, then you will be visible.
Girl, you just spoke all up and through here. Oh my gosh. I came home with the tears in my eyes, and I said, "Lord, you're making me visible."
Mhm,
I said, "This is the third time in less than a month
mhm.
where you have made me visible, where people
It's-
see me."
yeah, and it's not even about people seeing you, it's about him seeing you. It's not even about the people seeing you. He's emailing you and saying, hey, I hear you. I see you. I'm here for you. I'm reminding you of what I told you. I'm reminding you of my word. I'm reminding you. So it's not even about the people seeing you, because man and flesh is something totally different. You have to operate in both. You know, I will say you have to have that balance, but God will make the people see you. And he's telling you, I'm here.
I'm here. And that's what I was just like, you feel me? You know what I'm going through. You know, that you want to put a smile on my face because I'm a daddy's girl. I've never been an earthly daddy's girl, but I am a heavenly daddy's girl.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We are sons all day, sons of his kingdom all day. So I totally understand.
Thank you. Thank you for understanding. So I'm loving this because becoming visible. So I want to talk about your brand.
Okay.
We spoke briefly about legacy. Your legacy is that of being unstoppable.
Unstoppable, unbreakable, yeah.
Unbreakable, undeniable. I think it's definitely undeniable because you have already made history.
Yes.
You made history. So listen, girl, that's still amazing to me. And although we hear a lot of things, it's like first Black this, but when it's kingdom connected.
When it's kingdom alignment and kingdom connection, it hits at a different level.
It really does. It really does. And I can go on about that. Cedric already warned me. He was like, "Mine, don't get too talkative," you know.
Yeah, but that's what makes a great interview, you know, when things like that happen and you're able to share. So I'm here for it. Okay.
Well, see, Cedric, she said she's here for it. Hey, Popout audience. Don't forget to go to www.popoutmagazine.com because this issue will be dropping and I need you guys to cop that and read all about it. Take a stroll through Popout. If you're not familiar with Popout Magazine, don't forget to go to Instagram and www.popoutmagazine.com. I need you guys to be popping out. It's 2023. Don't just be a spectator, be a participator. So, right. Don't be just a spectator. You got to participate. So I want to talk about, we talked about One Care Premier Services. We spoke about sowing seeds. One Care, right? One Care. We talked about sowing seeds, and the sowing represents the clothing, and the seed represents the faith. And you guys, don't forget, I'm going to have Nicole share all the information that you'll need to become an audience member to her podcast. So don't worry. I'm going to make sure I come back to that. But I want to talk about ministry.
Okay. Before you talk about ministry, can I give you a pop-out exclusive? Because I know that you were saying, you were talking about that. Before you talk about that, I'm going to give you an exclusive before we go into ministry. But I am launching also my very own clothing line at the end of this year, which I'm so excited about. I can't give you a whole lot of details.
Congratulations.
Yes, I have not shared that at all with anyone. So that's a pop out exclusive. I have not posted it, shared it, talked about it, but that is something that I really want everyone to know because I'm popping out with it. I'm popping out with the clothing line at the end of the year. So stay tuned for that.
Listen, girl, God has favored you. I thought I was a serial entrepreneur. Listen, you have the Bible says that I'll teach you to profit. God has taught you to profit.
His hand on it.
Proverbs woman. Yes. And you obviously,
she was a business woman. That's
what she was. And obviously, you have been a good steward over what God is giving you because he continues to increase you.
Amen. Thank you. He has.
You just didn't take the talent and hide it. You came back and you multiplied it. You made it better. Then you increased it. And then you also came back and said, thank you. That's why gratitude is so important. People don't understand gratitude is connected to increase.
It is. It's so connected. Being a gratitude and being a servant.
And being a servant.
And being a servant is connected to increase.
It's connected to increase. So when God talks about be fruitful and multiply, replenish, subdue, and dominate,
dominates.
You are definitely
Authority in what he is giving authority.
And that's why you are unstoppable.
Thank you.
Because it's domination. If Apple can dominate the cellular device industry, then why can't Nicole Jackson dominate the foster care industry, the fashion industry?
Yes.
Ooh, Jesus. Okay, so girl, we gonna podcast industry. We gonna talk about ministry.
Talk about ministry.
Let's talk about ministry. How long have you been in ministry, and when did God call you to ministry?
So God called me into ministry last year. I am a newly Minister Nicole Jackson. I have enjoyed it because it is something, like I said earlier, that I thought I would never, ever do. But he called me last year. I will say that the day that I was called, I remember, being here in this office. And what he poured into me as far as being called is something in a day I will never, ever forget. And until you have that day, you will honestly, words won't even be able to describe how it feels. It's really an honor too. And it's a very high title that I don't take lightly. And when I say that, I mean that in regards to what he's called me to do. So ministry is something new for me, but I tell people all the time, it's just a title. We work and operate in ministry every day. You're in ministry. I'm in ministry. Everyone in their calling, they're operating in ministry in different ways, and they don't even know it.
And they don't even know it. They don't even know it. And if you don't mind sharing, what is something that God has assigned you to when it comes to your ministry?
He has assigned me to kingdom building and kingdom alignment, which I talked about earlier. I can tell you yesterday when I was in the airport, we were waiting on the plane, and it was a lady that I was talking to, and she was sharing some information with me. And I just asked her, I said, can I pull you aside and can I pray with you? And she was like, want to pray with me? And I'm like, yeah, I want to pray with you. And so for that, and being able to pour into other people and to just meet someone that I don't even know, to touch them and to bring them to his kingdom, and to also let them know that, hey, you can have a relationship with him. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You don't have to be in this box. And so my ministry is that. Kingdom building, kingdom alignment, bringing his people to him. Yeah, it's important.
I love that. I love that. A lot of times when we talk about ministry, a lot of people don't understand what they're called to, or the industry that they're called to, the market in which they're called to. We're all called to win souls. But then God assigns you. There's an assignment. I grew up in the housing projects, and poverty was all around me. Why did he call my ministry to poverty? I have no clue.
No idea.
I said, Jesus, like, okay, I don't have any money. He's like, yet. Entrepreneurship was nothing in my family. I'm like, everybody looking at me crazy, like, what's she talking about entrepreneurship? We gotta get on Section 8. We gotta get these. We gotta do this. We gotta get in the system. And God called me out of the system. And so when God is calling you to ministry, it normally relates to who you already are, a path that you've already journeyed.
Pretty much. That's just basically what it is. And so with yours being poverty, it's, people who are least likely to, look as if they will be this person that God has called them to be. That is who he chooses. He chooses us. I came from a single parent household. I came from, a portion of poverty. So I understand. And so, God follows and he promotes people who are not who you think should be promoted. He promotes the underserved. He promotes, who the person who you would never in your life think.
The underdog.
On the underdog. He always promotes the underdog. He does.
He does.
He really, really does. And it's just amazing of him doing that, because that's something that he tells us all the time anyways. If you read, that's what he does.
We see ourselves as filthy rags, but he sees us as marvelously made, in the wholeness of in his eyes. And we're looking like, who, me?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, you. Yeah. I'm talking to you.
To you. And a big thing too is, people who don't fit into what the world says about them, and follows God. I mean, they are looked at differently. And, I just don't understand that as well. But I mean, it is what it is. But I do say that he picks the most least likely person to elevate and to promote what he wants in his ministry and his kingdom.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna share one of the quotes I found on your Instagram, and then I'm gonna allow you to elaborate on it. You said, if you wear your faith like you wear your fashion, you will never go out of style.
Never. Never. That is when God gave me that. Let me tell you something, because it's so true. Because just as in seasons, your clothes, you have to dress according to the seasons. Just as in your faith, you're going to have to use it in different seasons, in different areas of your life. You're going to have to. And that's why your faith has to remain strong. You have to endure. You have to. But that's my favorite quote.
I saw the excitement. As soon as I said it, I started.
I was repeating after you.
I was just like, oh, okay, that's her. Did she know this one?
Yes.
And I just loved it, because he was like, if you wear your faith like you wear your fashion, you'll never go out of style. And I thought about it. I was just like, individuals who may not feel like they are even fashionable, they may be struggling with their faith. What would you say to someone who may not feel that they truly understand what it is to be fashionable? Because another quote you stated is, I believe fashion is the ultimate method of self-expression.
Showing the world who you are without saying one word. It's showing the world who you are. And everyone is not where they might want to be in their fashion. But I can tell you this, I can wear something from Target and Walmart, and I'm still going to look good in it, okay? That's what I believe. And then with your faith, I believe that everyone has different levels, I will say, or different ways to express their faith. Their faith comes to them in different magnitudes. And, your faith sometimes is higher than it can be at other times. And so I would tell people all the time, just make sure you have a relationship with him, because that is something that is so important. I can't stress it enough. And being able to operate and have that relationship, your faith is going to go hand in hand with it. It's going to elevate, but you got to put in that time.
Got to put in that time. That's a perfect response to the question for those who are listening. I pray that you all receive that. Popout Magazine audience in the building and remaining steady on the line for the interview. So thank you for staying locked in with us. Again, don't forget to visit www.popoutmagazine.com and also go to Instagram and follow, subscribe to the magazine and follow Popout Magazine, because we don't want you guys to just be spectators. We want you to become participators. Get involved in what Popout has going on. There's so much more to come. Nicole Jackson is here with us. If you're just recently joining us, she is the CEO of One Care Premier Services. She's also the founder of Sowing Seed podcast, as well as a minister and author. And now I'm going to talk about being 40 under 40.
40 under 40?
Yes.
I heard you were going to say the book, because I heard you say author. I was going to say 40 under 40. Oh,
we don't talk about it all.
Okay. Let me tell you about 40 under 40. When I received that, I was like, ah! I was so excited. I'm so excited to be honored in Las Vegas, March the 1st, for having one of the 40 under 40 businesses, elite businesses. And that was such an amazing honor. And I couldn't even ask for more. I mean, I was just speechless.
Right.
I was speechless. God came out the gate this year and was like, bam, 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 bam.
Visible.
Visible. So I am so excited and so honored. And even the honorees, to be amongst some of these honorees. I don't know if you went to the 40 and 40 page, but some of these honorees, they're from all over the world. You have some from Canada, you have some from the US, you have some from Europe. You have, I mean, these are people who are really dominating and doing things in their field under 40. So shout out to all of my honorees, all of my other 39 honorees.
I was able to go to their Instagram page, and I was just like, wow, it's like, Instagram, you're strolling, you kind of have an expectation. And then I was on their page and I was like, oh, this for real grown successful people. Okay. Yeah, I was really impressed, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you
again, congratulations. And you are truly out the gate having an amazing 2023.
I am, and I'm loving it. And
it's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning. We're just in February. Just in February. Just in February.
That is so amazing. Again, congratulations. You are really, really, really an inspiration.
Thank you.
To our culture, to our community, to the term Black excellence.
Excellence, yes.
Excellence.
Yes, ma'am.
And for the kingdom.
And for the kingdom.
And for the kingdoms.
For the kingdom. And you know, it's so funny you said that, because when I was at the photo shoot with Stead and Casey, I was like, I know they know I'm a minister. I said, but I want to make sure that they know that, I am not going to, present or act a certain way. So for him to say that word, and what did you say?
Infectious.
Infectious. I just keep thinking about that. I was like, oh, that was so exciting to hear.
Yes. It's letting you know that your light was showing, that the God in you showed up with you. It's one thing to say we know him, but it's another thing to walk with him. Because wherever we show up, he show up.
He shows up and show up.
So let's talk about your book. I see it behind you.
Yes, my baby.
Let's talk about it. About it. Share a little bit about your project.
Sure. So The Power of a Thriving Mindset, Lessons in Life, Leadership, and Faith. You can find it on Amazon and Nicole Mays Jackson. This is my story of how I started One Care Premier and the challenges that I experienced, and just a little background on having that mindset to push forward no matter what was presented in front of me. And that it talks about, my childhood. It also talks about, my marriage. It talks about a lot of things. And so your mindset has to be swiftly equipped to move forward, to move forward in the things that you're asking God to do. So my book, it's a short read, but it's a read that you don't want to miss out on. And I do have another book coming out later on this year, which I'm so excited about as well.
Awesomeness. Okay, so I'm a girl from the book world. I own Beautiful Books Publishing. So I believe in short books. Short books is the
people are sleeping on the short reads. They're sleeping.
Girl, I try to tell them some of the most powerful books are under 100 pages.
Under 100 pages.
That means they're filled with value. No fluff.
No fluff. Quality over quantity.
Yes, absolutely. They sleep on the short books. I'm telling you, they're powerful and they are effective. I think that's the word. I didn't have a word for 2023 until I just started talking with you, Nicole. And I believe the word for 2023 just hit my spirit, effective. That everything that you do, You're showing and demonstrating that you are effective.
I like that.
You're effective for the kingdom. You're effective for the lives in which you touch, those who experience your presence, those that you meet in business.
Mm-hmm.
You are effective. And God is an effective God. You know, there's no way that you can have a relationship with him or an experience with him and you not feel his infectious presence.
Mm. Mm. That is so true. It's
So
so
I just want to tell you, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for being you, first and foremost, for being infectious, for being friendly,
Thank you.
for being warm and inviting, and for just showing up as a girl who loves God.
That's it. That's it.
It's like I'm sitting next to my homegirl, my kingdom homegirl, and she just loved the Lord, and he just happened to just be blessing her.
Yeah, he does. He does. But I will tell people all the time, and what I like to tell people, it does not come without hurting. Okay. It's just you are not going. I just want people to know out there,
Jesus.
don't get it twisted. A lot of it comes with pain and hurt. And it is okay. So I know he's blessing me, but I love to tell people that because I never want people to think that it's all peaches and roses. It's always going to be pain that's going to go along with it.
Because you're always going to be tested. The story I shared a little earlier, guys, it's associated with pain.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to have to be decisions made to walk away from people, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be people who feel like you changing, that you love, and you don't want to let go, but they'll let go of you because they can't go with you. It's a whole lot. Come on. It's a whole lot.
But thank you so much for that. But I always like to tell people that because I just hope that they do know that it does not come easy at all.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And I thank you for your honesty. I thank you for your authenticity.
Thank you. Thank you.
In a world that's so masked up, not just by a pandemic and a virus, but masked up. People don't know who they are anymore. People don't know who they want to be. But thank you for showing up knowing exactly who you are.
Thank you so much.
It's so refreshing.
Thank you.
And infectious. So Cedric was dead on.
I'm going to put that. Tell said that's going to have to be my new word. Infectious. Everything you touch is just going ahead to travel. It's just going to, it's attaching. It's attaching.
Come on. You setting a new virus out here, kingdom virus. That's going to fulfill people, that's going to help people believe in themselves again. It's gonna help set people free from the bondage of fear.
Mm-hmm. And it's so real. The bondage of fear is so real with everyone. I don't care who it is. The spirit of fear, when it attaches, it's real.
And they're going to believe that they can fight and win because you fought and you won.
And I did. And I'm continuing to fight.
You're
continuing to fight. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So any words of encouragement to the audience, this amazing Popout audience that has been riding with us, locked in the entire time. I would like for you to share some words of encouragement to them, however God leads you, especially, but I would like for you to touch bases about 2023. You know, it's still pretty much a new year.
It's still a new year. And I will leave you with this, and I have a little bit of the post on my page. You know, for the beginning of this year, God stated, do not eat at the king's table. And I'm going to tell you what that means. That means that God is going to put everything in place that you need. You don't have to compromise yourself. You don't have to do the things that's out of the will of God to be able to get to where you think you should be. You don't have to eat at the king's table. People who are in high authority, who are offering you things or doing things for you, you don't have to subject yourself to the way of the world. You be you, and you follow him and follow his kingdom. And you make sure that you don't compromise your identity, your character, who you are in this season. You want to make sure that you are operating in what he's telling you to operate and not eating at the king's table, meaning don't do anything. Don't be thirsty this year. He's going to provide it all for you. He's going to provide it for you, but you have to know that he's going to provide it for you.
Wow, don't be thirsty. Don't
I should have said that part.
No, that's, I mean, everybody
to people, because that's how, you know, some people will be able to take it, because
right.
even at the king's table in the Bible, kings are people in authority and people in high places. And, you know, a lot of people are looking up to them and wanting to do things so that they can feel as if, you know, this person can do X, Y, and Z for me if I do this or if I do that. Or, you know, I'm just telling people, don't subject yourself to that. You don't have to. You don't have to. He is going to provide, and he's going to make it to make a way to where whatever it is that you're asking him for, he's going to make it possible.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So what I receive from that is that people are in position that can offer you something to reposition you in your situations. But God is saying, if you just wait on me, be still and know that I am God, because I'm also a jealous God, and I don't want nobody taking credit for what I'm getting ready to do for you.
And that is what he is saying. He wants to get the glory. He wants to get the glory. That's it. That's it.
Oh, this has been amazing. Okay, so tell us where we can catch your next podcast.
Yes, so on my YouTube channel, Nicole Mays Jackson, you can find Sowing Seeds there. You can find me on Instagram at Nicole Mays Jackson. You can also find me, where else am I? I want to say that's it for right now.
That's it for right now. Okay, and if you are in the Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Houston, Texas, and you are interested in becoming a foster parent,
yes,
Nicole, please share with them where they should go again, please.
Go to onecarepremierservices.com. You can check us out on IG as well at One Care Premier. You can also go to Amazon and pick up Power of a Thriving Mindset. You can type in Nicole Mays Jackson and I will pop up there as well.
Well, I thank you again. I have truly enjoyed your presence, the interview, the opportunity. And I'll be praying for you. I'll continue to lift you up, that you continue to break kingdom records, that you continue to break earthly records for the kingdom, and that God continues to make you visible in all that you do.
Thank you so much. I so enjoyed you. I want to thank Cedric and Casey, because I want to tell you how they are truly amazing. Their whole team is amazing. I want to say everything that they're doing, their staff, and just it's an honor. And I don't know if they understand what they're doing. They're doing something that's really amazing. And I want to even thank them for allowing me to grace the cover. To follow up behind Stormy Wellington, when I tell you, that is something huge. It's huge, and I don't take it lightly. And I just want to give them so much gratitude and praise and tell them to continue to do what they're doing. And if they ever need me in any aspect, I am here.
You are there. Oh, that is so amazing. And thank you for that. As a mom, you sit back on the other end, and we do our best to set an example, lead by example. And I always told them that I was their first role model. So that came with a big responsibility. But now to see Cedric just truly walking in purpose and seeing God begin to use him, I'm just like, do it, Lord. Just do it, Lord. You know, because he told me long time ago, he said, what you do unto the least of mine, you do unto me. So while you working in the foster care system and you're going to visit the children in the facility, the jail facilities, and you're designing curriculum to work with the at-risk population, he said, I'm going to take care of them. And they were just young kids then. But now I'm seeing the manifestation of his words. And
isn't it amazing when you see the manifestation of his words? And you have so much to be proud of, so much to be proud of with him. Yes.
I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. So again, thank you again. Popout Magazine audience. I
Yes.
pray you guys enjoyed Miss Nicole Jackson. She truly blessed us. I'm telling you, she truly, truly blessed us. If you stayed tuned the entire time, I know that you were inspired and that there's anything that it is that you want to do in this life, that you could do it.
You
Put
can.
God first. It's all possible with him. So I guess we're going to go ahead and log out. I feel like I want to continue to talk to you, but I'm going to follow you, of course, on social media, and I believe that our paths will cross again.
Oh, I know they will. You said it. You beat me to the punch. I was going to say that, but I know that it definitely will.
Yes, they definitely will. Well, have an amazing Valentine's Day.
Well, you too.
I definitely will. All right, Nicole Jackson, thank you again.
You. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.